Yeah, it's my comic vlog or what I review all my shit on in one sitting. Boo, yeah, whatever. I did one last week, but I barely had anything on it. I reviewed 2 comics and a movie. And when I mean review, I threw my thoughts and 2 cents into the movie. So I'm just gonna redo that and then put this week's stuff because I had some interesting things. And then a comic from not last week, but the week before that ties into one from this week because fucking events. Oh yeah, and I cuss a lot, so boo-hoo, fuck you if you don't like it. This isn't, I don't tutor myself for kids. So I'm going to start out with the movie I saw, which was RoboCop. It was a decent remake. There's not much to say about it because it's just middle of the road. Most people will just forget about it once it makes its Blu-ray release, and then it will go off into obscurity like the Total Recall remake did. It was better than the Total Recall remake, but it was a unnecessary remake. It focused on the human element of RoboCop, which was interesting, and the building of RoboCop, which took up a good portion of the movie. But then the movie just kind of falls flat on its face after the building of RoboCop, unfortunately. And it lacks almost all the satire that was in the original. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It was middle of the road. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't great. There. Now we're going to move on to comics. And I'm going to start out with my worst pick from last week. I know, there's only 2 comics. Yeah. And I left one of them over there. Anyway, right back. Yeah, I'm not editing that out. You could just see my reflection in the mirror. So, I'm going to talk about the worst pick of last week, or week before, whatever. Eternal Warrior issue 6. It literally just made me stop wanting to pick this up. It wasn't worth $3.99. Nothing really happened. Gilead fought robots in it, I guess. His granddaughter's cuteness is now worn off and it's just annoying. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to sell my copies of that, my whole run of that to someone. So message me in the comments down below if you want to, you're interested in it. It's a decent series. It probably reads better trade weighted, in my humble opinion. Next, we're going to go on to my pick of the week from 2 weeks ago, and that was Star Wars issue 14. Due to the fact I barely picked up anything or read anything, I didn't read any Walking Dead. I am only just about to start All Out War once I finish with all my trades, which is almost done. I'm almost caught up with all the trades. I have 3 left, I think, that I really want to read before I start hitting the fucking single issues of Walking Dead All Out War. So yeah, Star Wars issue 14 ends the Darth Vader's 2-issue story arc. It was nice to have a 2-issue one instead of what we had, which was In the Shadow of Yavin, which was great, and then the not so great In the Ruins of Alderaan, which is what it technically didn't even have a name for a while there after In the Shadow of Yavin ended. So this was like 5 Days of the Sith, something like that. It was a 2-issue story arc. First issue of this, issue 13, I really loved. It was great to not have Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, any rebels in it. It was great. Especially with the spoilers here. Skip a couple seconds in. Especially after we found out Butcher was a fucking rebel after all. Stupidest twist in the series has had. Because it's been a decent series. Oh, and Leia's getting married? No, that's stupid. Now we get to issue 14, and back in issue 13, Vader is haunted by Obi-Wan. Now, the most interesting thing about this is Vader's talking with Obi-Wan in the beginning of this. It's obvious that Obi-Wan's like, yeah, you're stupid and you don't get it, but Vader's starting to put 2 and 2 together on who his son, that he has an heir, and that that air destroyed the Death Star. And then we have our protagonist. She gets PTSD at the end of this, pretty much. I doubt we'll ever see her again in Star Wars. At least not in this series. In fact, I doubt we'll ever see her again due to Marvel. Yeah, and you gotta double shift everything, make everything $5.99 or whatever you feel like. Significantly shrink the size. This is what I call the perfect comic book. It's long, but it doesn't feel long. There's actually a little weight to it. It's $2.99. It doesn't have a digital download, which I don't care about. I sell them, so that doesn't matter to me unless it's $3.99. But this is a $2.99 book. This is what a standard comic should be. Or if they want to make it all nice and stuff, make it $3.99, make it the Star Wars status. Not Damien Son of Batman, where the pages were kind of feeling like an old comic. Having gloss. Everything just gloss. So yeah. This was my pick of the week last week. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Eternal Warrior, 2 out of 5 stars. Now we go on to this week, but I'm going to also backtrack. See, this came out, well, now 3 weeks ago. This was Green Lantern, and it was flip issue Red Lantern. I pull it out, but I just sealed this up again, and I'm not going to rip the tape again. But it was ridiculous. They wanted you to buy 2 of these anyway if you want a file. I have to buy another one. Nothing is explained. Reason that drew me in was Devin sent me a picture of this. And I'm like, oh shit. Supergirl's a Red Lantern? What the fuck? Exact words, exact quote, blah blah blah. So, I read this. You're supposed to read, in case you got confused, you're supposed to read the Green Lantern issue first, then you flip it over and you read the Red Lanterns. Green Lanterns really isn't about anything. It's just kind of tying up loose ends from the last story arc, but I didn't read that last story arc, so none of it really made sense to me. And the Red Lantern one is more interesting. But there's a problem with this. It doesn't explain how Supergirl gets the red ring. So you wait 2 weeks, and then this comes out. Supergirl 28. Now, if you're like me, I actually happened to get, for cover price, an issue 0 of Supergirl, so now I know her origin, because I had no idea Supergirl's origin or anything, except for that awful movie. And I read this. She fights Lobo in it, which was fascinating. She beats the shit out of him, which I found really entertaining. Then she's like, fuck everything. As Pride said, quote unquote, she was all emo and stuff. And, well, I just paraphrased Pride, but you get the idea. But she gets the ring at the end of this. Now we're going to move on to... I'm going to save Marvel for last, because Marvel really... Actually, you know what? I'll go Marvel first and talk about this. New Warriors, knew nothing about it except for it's Scarlet Spider and Nova in it. Apparently the New Warriors, because I haven't read all of Civil War, in fact I've only read the Punisher's tie-in. Some of them are the reason that Civil War happened. It was an introduction issue, much like what you get with a DC issue 0, but Marvel just does it in a 1. I don't know. It wasn't worth $3.99, even with the digital downloads, worth $2.99. It felt $2.99. There's nothing there. It's a quick read. It was no Miss Marvel, so let's see. Let's backtrack. 3 out of 5 for green, 3.5 out of 5 for red, and 3.5 out of 5 for Supergirl. And this I give it 2 out of 5. Not quite caught my appetite. I may give it a second issue. I don't know yet. Then we're talking about what I thought would be my pick of the week. But it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Amazing X-Men, number 4. It was close. It was very, very, very close. But but no cigar. Amazing X-Men, it's gearing up to the end of the story arc. Everyone's united again, for lack of a better term. This cover kicks ass. I'm going to probably pick this up until the end of the run. Till Marvel reboots it, and then I won't pick it up. Because fuck that jazz. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was quite good, but it didn't quite make it there. Yeah, I'm hoping they keep Nightcrawler after issue 5. Then we get to my second best pick of the week, which is Punisher. Now, after I read this was going to be my pick of the week, but you'll see why I changed my pick of the week. Punisher, even though this is double shifting, I'm enjoying it. It's not like Black Widow, where I'm just deciding, like, hey, maybe I should pick this up some more. I've heard rumors this is going to, after this first story arc, it's not going to double shift anymore. Thank God. That fucks me in the ass with money. It's so annoying. But Punisher, it's getting a lady friend. They're starting to put a little romance. She's probably going to die, but hey, that's generally what happens to the Punisher. And then he'll go on and do what I like him to do best, murder the shit out of everyone. They use a new weapon on the Punisher. A supervillain I didn't even expect. This threw me for a loop, and I was like, aren't you back in New York? Aren't you going to be in the next Marvel movie? That'll be a hint as to who is going to be the villain that shows up at the end. But it was really good. Lots of action. Some murder. Is it as gritty as Garth Ennis' run? No. But this is up there. Quite good. Give it 4.7 out of 5 stars. Next, we go on to something that should have come out last week, but didn't. We have Manifest Destiny issue 4. Sacagawea is introduced. Not a lot happens. And one of them becomes a plant at the end. Sorry, spoilers, but boo-hoo. I didn't care much for this issue. I liked 3 more. There wasn't enough action. The dialogue wasn't interesting. It was fine. It was cool to see Sacagawea in it. Next we got, let's see here. Actually, I'll do this one first. Ash and the Army of Darkness issue 4. I'm gonna say I love this cover. This gets my cover for the week. This is cool. Really cool. I like it. Ash gets the Necronomicon. This one's hard to remember what happened in it. I'm sorry, people. It was entertaining. This is a guilty pleasure book, if I've ever read one. Except minus the porn. There isn't porn. You want some fapping material, read some Aspen. Oh, shots fired! Anyway, fuck. Not a lot happens. Leading up to shit happening, though, I must say. There's gonna be a bunch of fighting at the end in the next issue of this. And I'm not sure if this is gonna be an ongoing, or it's gonna be a limited. I know Army of Darkness vs. Hack and Slash ends on Wednesday. Thank God. Give it 3 out of 5 stars. Good. Then we get to the sleeper pick of the week. Terminator Enemy of My Enemy #1. Now, I haven't told anyone this, because I thought Punisher was going to be it. But I read this last. Actually, no, I read second to last. I read New Warriors last, and I was like, eh. But Terminator Enemy of My Enemy is the Terminator book I've wanted since I read Terminator 2029 to 1984. This was it. Very interesting, action-packed. Like RoboCop Last Stand, but with dialogue. It's just awesome. Long-haired Terminator, badass ex-military chick fighting him, doesn't know he's a machine yet. Oh, so cool. And the fact that it takes place in 1985 is just awesome, too. It's not fucking Terminator Salvation, the final battle. More cliche names on top of more cliche names. It makes no sense. So apparently this is supposed to be a 12-issue mini. I picked up the next issue. I really enjoyed it. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, I just did that. I think it's because the last Terminator series confused the fuck out of me and this one didn't. So yeah, that's my reviews for this last week, week before, and week before that. Yeah. And, because I feel like talking about it, I just finished all of the Dark Tower hardcovers. I read like 4 of them in a period of 3 days. It was crazy. And apparently there's another one that isn't in hardcover, which really pisses me off. But I'm probably not going to collect it because it's stuff I don't give 2 shits about. It's not the Drawing of the Three, which actually I just started reading the novel of that again so I can remember how it went. And then I'll go on and just read the whole series in novel form. Yeah. Anyway, guys, have a nice day. Hopefully this will be up today. Probably tomorrow because my internet's shit. Blah, blah, blah. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I've cussed quite a fucking lot in this video.